Hey guys, welcome back to another Umbreon with a Snorlax head video. And today, it's a little bit of a special video because I just recently won a tournament. Yup, first place with this deck that you're seeing right in front of you. And I'm gonna explain it in just a little bit. What parts on what bays, pretty much the strategies with each bay, and the format that this tournament was in. Because this is the first time where I've actually been to a tournament that held a different format than standard during the duration of the tourney, and it was so fun, let me tell you. Before we get into that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, click the bell for notifications for my next video, and don't forget to comment your thoughts down below. Anything helps. I'm still a growing channel, and I will read every single comment that's down there. And without further ado, let's get into how my tournament run went. Okay, just for starters, this tournament was at Myth Adventures. Shout out Myth Adventures. They're in McAllen, Texas. It's super cool. They have collectibles for everything. Not sponsored, but like, every time I go there, it's like, there's so much stuff. Comics, collectibles, board games, more than you can imagine. Awesome place, awesome people there too. And who knew, not me, that this was actually a local meetup place for fellow Beyblade enthusiasts. I mean, I remember last year, I don't remember what month, I remember seeing a video that my friend actually sent me that Myth Adventures was holding a Beyblade tournament. I was like, cool, right? I'd love to actually go to a tournament that's super local to where I am, that I can just show up and have fun, you know, not super regulated like the WO tournaments are. I do love that the WO tournaments are regulated. Shout out WBO, very awesome website and organization, helps run tournaments all over the United States. But sometimes you kind of just want a more local place, you know, like when I play the Pokemon trading card game, I'm not always going to regionals, or I'm not always going to League Cups. I just want to one weekend go and have fun with my friends and like test out a wacky deck, right? And I was hoping that that tournament there at Myth last year was gonna be like that. And well, I had planned to go with a friend. Things came up and I ended up just going by myself. I still did meet people, right? It was their first hosting an event for Beyblade, and I want to say quite literally only me and one other person showed up for the Beyblade tournament, so we just tested against each other, right? That was around the time when Beyblade just released the UX line, so the person that was there already had Wizard Rod, Drawn Buster, Hell's Hammer, all those bays that, well, I don't have. I don't even have them still. I don't even have them yet either. But it was super cool to be able to test against those with the bays that I did have, which were Phoenix Wing, Nightlands, Wizard Rod, Drawn Sword, all the first wave bays. And we had fun, right? And finally the store clerks or whoever was supposed to run the event came up to us and asked, well, are you guys going to do a tournament? And we decided, why not, right? It's just us two. We'll just do a first to 5, or I think it was 7, right? First to 7 is what we did. And it was super fun, right? Even though it wasn't like the most competitive thing ever, I was still able to beat my opponent, right? I think my final score was 7 to his 5. That was pretty much my only local connection to Beyblade X that I had for a little while. And I wasn't able to go back again the next Saturday or the next, and all of a sudden here I am, February 8th, it's a Saturday, and I'm getting ready for my day, you know, I have to go do some work or whatever, and all of a sudden my mom mentions to me that they're still doing the Beyblade stuff at Myth Adventures, and I'm like, okay, I'll go, right? Like, I'm not gonna be busy at around the time that they usually do it, which is around like 6 p.m. And so I got there. I got there around like actually 3 p.m. because that's when I was done with whatever I was doing earlier that day. But around 6:15, I went back to the area where I had last gone for the Beyblade X tournament, when it was just me and one other person, really. But no one was there, and I was starting to get worried, like, oh my gosh, what if there's actually not a local scene? What if they slotted out this time and nobody shows up? Then when I thought nobody would show up and I was gonna call to get a ride back home, people started showing up, right? This guy came and he had his stadium, and I was like, oh, are you guys here for the Beyblade thing? And they're like, yeah. I was like, oh, thank goodness, right? Like, I was starting to get super worried that I wasn't gonna, I don't know, do any Beyblade stuff that day. And that's when he let me know about the format that the tournament was gonna take place in. Now, I had never known that there was different formats for Beyblade X tournaments. I always thought it was just standard, right? Like standard play whatever is it that was that Beyblade's released for Beyblade X. And I had a deck for that, which admittedly was not the best, right? It was like these 3 bays, except this one was Hell Scythe, right? But then he showed me this image, and this image showed only the bays, no parts like ratchets or bits, just the bays lined up on a ranking system from A to C. As you can see, there's Wizard Rod, Phoenix Wing, a bunch of other bays that are in the A category. Then you have Knight Male and some other bays in the B category. But then you have all your Hasbro Wave 1, pretty much General Wave 1 for Beyblade X in general, like Knight Lance and Wizard Rod, and what's the other one? Knight Shield, all there. And he told me that today's format was going to be an ABC format, as in you could have only one A Beyblade, only one B, but as many C's as you want in your deck. So of course I went with Phoenix Wing because it was the only A Beyblade that I had that I could use. Actually, that's a lie. I had other ones, but this one was the one I had the most practice with. And I went with Knight Lance and Wizard because, I don't know, I made a whole video about this Wizard combo, and I wanted to see if it had some actual tournament results, you know, like play against other people's combos that they actually practice with. I really wanted to somehow pull off something with this. Even if I didn't come in first, I would have been okay with anything, any wins that I had gotten with this Wizard combo. While I was there waiting for more people to show up, I got to know some of the other people that did show up, like shout out to HD, Pedro, Mike, Max, Alex, Tabs, and Dagan. You guys were incredible, right? Best way to introduce me to this local scene, because you all are so friendly and so nice, and definitely makes me want to come back and play against you guys, because that was probably the best tournament I've ever been to. Because I've been to burst tournaments and I've never been to an X tournament, so this has just raised my standard so much because that was awesome. Community was great, atmosphere was awesome and beautiful. Shout out to the South Texas Beyblade Brigade, because that's the local scene there. Any news updates that for any other people interested in joining the South Texas local scene, that is the place to go. Figure out more info. I got my deck ready, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the combos that I had. So let's start off with my A class bay. Phoenix Wing, pretty standard 960 point. So this is one of the combos that I think I tested against Wizard Rod. Sorry, this is one of the combos that I tested against Wizard Arrow, right? And it's a pretty good combo if you're looking for a passive aggressive attack bay, right? It does well against other attack types because it can hit really hard, get all that recoil that it needs to get any knockout, or maybe destabilize the other bay. And with the point bit, it can last a little bit longer than other bays when it comes down to the last final seconds, you know. But the only thing is that it does poorly against pure stamina bays. So you gotta learn how to launch this one. It's very similar to my wizard combo in that you have to launch it specifically, which I'll explain more once I get to the wizard. But my second combo was Knight Lance. Now, Knight Lance was a C rank bay that I was more than happy to run because I had bought it for the original purpose of its defensive capabilities, and I have it on 560 high needle. Yeah, high needle. Not needle or spike, high needle. The reason I have it on high needle is because the cone shape is a little bit wider than needle. So like needle, you'll see it look something like this, while high needle, the cone shape is a little bit wider, allowing for it to, if destabilized, have a little bit of life after death, or LAD, right? And that helped it tremendously, especially against attack types, right? It has a lot of recoil because it has some awkward contact points all over the blades that allows it to destabilize its opponents, and that's absolutely what I need it for. Launching this one, you have to be careful with at the beginning because you want to make sure you can avoid your opponent's attacks. That way you can survive at the end. Now, this bay was almost an auto loss against any stamina bay or any bay that directly aimed for its ratchet, because unlike other bays, as you can see here, Knight Lance has a huge gap right there between the blade and the ratchet. It's designed that way because without it, it'd probably be too good. It would be really low, and most defense bays have that gap just to ensure that they're balanced in the current metagame and such. Now, for my star of the show, and probably the bay that won me the most battles, Wizard Arrow 360 Tapered. Now, I made a video on this combo talking about its smash hitting abilities, but when testing against Phoenix, I also showed off that it can beat other attack bays in stamina using Rush. And don't ask me exactly how it works, but I feel it has to do with the Wizard Arrow blade. How it's shaped, it allows for a lot of good outward weight distribution. So right there at the end of the battle, when other bays are toppling over, this one's able to spin pretty stabilized while the other bay topples and falls over. But the best launch for this bay is definitely not exactly quite a reverse X launch. I want to call it a bank launch. You want to hit a specific part of the stadium, and I'll show it right here, right now. So, the Beyblade X Stadium says Beyblade X right there, and on the B side, where the beginning of Beyblade is launching this way, you have to sort of get a tilted launch, kick back a little bit, and hit this area when it goes into the launch. That way, you can stall. Hit this area of the rail. That way, when it tries riding the rail, it rides it backwards and stalls in this top corner, allowing for other attack types to waste all their stamina going on the X rail. And finally, when it comes down to middle, your bay at that point will hit the middle, knocking it, get an X finish, or at least a pocket, or a spin finish if anything. This also works great against stamina bays or defense bays, because those bays normally will stay in the middle. And if you're doing an X launch this way, sometimes it goes too fast, misses it, fast, misses it. But with the reverse X launch, it just drops straight to the middle. Perfect for getting a KO or destabilizing that stamina bay. And a lot of the times, stamina bays want to hit the top areas to avoid an attack type, so they'll be confused when you start reverse X launching too, which is helped me so much during this this tournament run, And I do also want to note that I did use the winder launcher instead of a string launcher. It's definitely up to personal preference, but I only use string launchers for testing because it's less strain on my arms and pretty much my energy when I'm testing, and I don't have to reinsert the ripcord, pull it, reinsert the ripcord, pull it, right? I'm able to just string launch, goes back in by itself, taken care of, no problem, all done, right? But when I'm going to a tournament, I want to be able to output as much power as I possibly can, and the ripcord launcher is perfect for that because it all depends on how fast you pull it for how much power you're going to output, right? The string launcher definitely has a set power limit. Launching it launching it harder than it should be sometimes ruins the the string launcher, and that's a little bit unfortunate, but it's just the way that they're manufactured and the differences between them. But like I said, all up to your personal preferences. Like, one is not specifically better than the other. It's just how I feel when I'm playing, right? But I'm just gonna go through some of the matches that I had. I wish I had written down exactly what bays I played against, but I do remember that I played against a lot of Rock Golem, a lot of Nightmail, Wizard Rod was out there, definitely a lot. I did see one Lightning El Drago, though I did not play against them. I also played against a ton of Shark Edge, a lot of Dragoon, Ice Tiger, and I think I played against one or two Silver Wolf. But yeah, my first match was against this guy named Mike. He said he was super new to Beyblade X as a whole, which was super cool, you know, meeting new people in the hobby and like seeing what brought them into the hobby, and how their time's been so far, you know, like and helping them with like different techniques or strats and such, which is super cool. Now, before I go through my matches that I actually had, I do want to say that each round we went up to 7 points, which was super cool because like it gave for a lot of comeback strategies and things like that, which I personally enjoy because I love comeback mechanics in any kind of game. And it also made each X finish seem like a really big advantage over your opponent. Anyways, I'm just gonna get straight into it. When I first got there, I met this guy Mike. Him and his son just recently got into Beyblade X, and it was super cool to meet them, super cool to talk to them. Hope to see you again. Shout out Mike, it was super awesome to meet you. Loved playing against you. Hope to play against you sometime soon. But against Mike, I was able to get 7 points and he got 3. Now, this match was probably, no, I'm not gonna say probably, I'm gonna say it was the most nerve-wracking in the sense that it was my first battle of that tournament, and I did not know how it was gonna go. And winning my first battle was definitely helpful to cool my nerves, because like I said before this, I had never been to a Beyblade X tournament, right? I've been to Burst tournaments and things like that, but X still felt like an entirely new ball game to me, and I was glad that I was able to win that one. Then I went against a super cool, super chill guy at the end of the tournament. Ended up giving me a 160 ratchet, which I didn't have, and super cool. I'm going to be using it in my future tournaments. Dagon. And Dagon I lost against, right? I think I only played him once. He got his full 7 points. I was able to get 5, which is still pretty good because at the end, the way that first, second, third, and fourth, you know, the whole ranking system was going to be calculated not on how many matches you won, but how many points you scored in total. So 5 points against his 7 was still really good because I was just adding on top of my points. My third match that day was against another super cool guy. His name is Max. Shout out Max. I loved your deck. It was probably the most fun to play against because I felt we were so evenly matched. But I did also lose against Max. Shout out Max, super cool guy. He was able to get his 7 points to finish out that match, but I was still able to secure myself 6 points. So even though I lost, I was still collecting those points. I did, for a minute, maybe a second, start to doubt myself because I had won the first match against someone that was new to the hobby, but then I lost my 2 next matches against people that seemed experienced in Beyblade X. I mean, the launchers and bays they brought, they were able to make their combos on the fly, and during testing rounds, they were able to switch out multiple parts, and I was stuck with the same deck the entire time I tested against these people. But that was when I was actually able to get to talk to these two, Max and Dagan. Super cool people. The way they just carried themselves showed that they were like super easygoing, and it was super awesome to meet them, and it just kind of like lifted my spirit, you know, like their aura radiated off of them onto me, and I just felt like, you know what, I can do this, right? Like if they can keep going, I'm gonna keep on going. My fourth, number 4. For my 4th match, I went up against another awesome person to meet, Pedro. Pedro seemed to actually be in a similar boat as me, as he had collected a lot of the first wave Beyblade X from Hasbro, and mostly Tiger Tommy for him, but still only wave 1 stuff. And so both of our decks seem pretty similar in the fact that we had one really good attacker, and then we had 2 like sort of like defensive, maybe not true attacker builds. This game actually scared me a lot because I was going against I actually remember the bay that scared me the most in this one. It was a Shark Edge bay that was on Rush, and I think it was 360. Don't exactly remember the ratchet, don't quote me on the 360, but the Rush bit on that bay definitely made the battles a little bit harder because he was able to get an instant X finish in the first match against my Knight Lance. And I was like, no, that was my defense bay, the one that was supposed to hold its ground. But I was able to get my 7 points, and Pedro only kept his 3. So after that win, I was feeling great. I was like, okay, I can get it back. Just don't lose the next one. Keep on going, keep on scoring points. And for my 5th battle, I went against the actual tournament organizer, HG. Super cool. He had Rock Golem, which is the newest bay at this time, and I was definitely eyeing that low gear needle bit, because it seems it has so much life after death that it may be the next best bit for defense bays. But I was able to secure my 7 points, so I was all good. I'd won that match against him, and I don't know how to tell you, this was so many stadium flips against him. It was kind of nerve-wracking. I was like, oh my gosh, am I doing something wrong? What if I mess this next one up? What's my strategy for this side of the stadium? Things like that. And every time he flipped it to the X side, I'd want to start Lance. The reason for that is because I'm able to sort of launch it and stay on my side, while sort of motioning that I'm actually going to launch it on the other side. Sort of like to trick him, in a sort of sense, that I'm going to try and maneuver away from his attack types that he was using. And this worked pretty well because I was able to pretend that I'm going to hide from him when actually I was going to go on the opposite side, and then he would try to catch me in my hiding spot, but I wasn't going to hide there. And that allowed me to like stay alive for the first couple minutes while his attack types went crazy. It was sort of like a double reverse psychology sort of thing, and it was very exciting, that match against him. And I actually did go up against him again after my 2nd round with Max, right? I went up against him again. I was like, oh hey, welcome back, right? Guess we're doing this again. And this time I actually won that match, and this was a little bit more nerve-wracking than my first match ever. only because there were so many relaunches. There was hits in the middle of the air that sent both of us flying. There was self KOs. There was miss launches. It was an array of mess ups, but it was still super fun and super hype. I actually have a little bit of video footage of me battling against Max. I'm gonna show it right here.
Still in, and you survived that. I think you did it.
That's super cool. I wish I'd gotten more, but this is just secondhand video that I got from someone else. I did not record a single bit of footage because I was just living in the moment. You know, I had so much fun that I forgot, oh, I have a YouTube channel. I should probably record some of this stuff. Next time, I'll try to record some more footage for you guys if I ever go to a tournament again with them or just a local meetup there. Then to my next round, I did go up against HG again. This time was a little bit more nerve-wracking as we both ended up with 6 points and it was gonna be like a tiebreaker sort of thing, and I was able to secure my 7th point, him staying with 6 points, which is still good for him because, like I said, we needed to add up the points at the end, so no matter what, win or loss, you want to get as many points as you can during the match. And I think my last match of that day was against Tabs. Super great person, super friendly. She's super cool, like, wouldn't believe. And I'm so sorry, Tabs, for info dumping on you. Thank you so much for letting me do that. Against Tabs, I did secure my 7 points. She was able to get her 4, so still some good pointage on her end. At the end of the tournament, I sat down on a sofa there, tired, exhausted from the day. My legs, my arms, everything was, ugh, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. And when I tell you, the tournament organizer, HG, started looking my way, started sort of like grinning, I started to get so anxious, like, oh my gosh, no way, is it me? Is it not me? Did I get last place and he's sad that he's gonna have to tell me that? What's gonna happen? Or maybe I got a really good place, like at least 3rd. Blew me away. I got 1st place. Me. I got 1st place with my deck that I built there on the spot because I had no idea what the format was. Me. Umbreon with the Snorlax head. That was super awesome. I did not expect it at all, and I had so much fun that I completely forgot that we were competing for a prize. There was a $5 tournament entry fee, and it was totally worth it because I was able to get a random booster, the newest one, with Ghost Circle as the prize. I was actually hoping to get the Leon Crest, which has 0, 80, and Elevate, which are just godsend parts, right? Especially for the whole tournament scene. Unfortunately, I was not able to, but that's okay, right? But I did get my 2nd pick, if I could get any. Phoenix Feather, right? Previously a Koro magazine exclusive. It comes on 260 needle, normal needle, not a high needle. And it's a sort of shadow variant of Dransword. So let me just bring up Dransword right here. As you can see, they're pretty similar in shape. Only difference is this area right here is feathered out. Pun intended? I don't know. But it actually is quite a bit lighter than Dransword. I don't know if... Actually, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, there's some metal missing in the gaps here. But I'm going to have fun testing with that, seeing if there's any fun combos to use it. Let me know down in the comments if you have any combos for Phoenix Feather. Or maybe you're surprisingly having success with some other crazy combo that you want me to try out. Let me know if you want to see me do a video on any of these other combos that I have here. I sort of already did a video on Phoenix because it was in combination with this one. You saw a little bit of it. Let me know if you guys want to see me do a video on Night Lance here, throwing some attack types at it, see how well it does, maybe another stamina type. Remember, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you can always catch my next video. And let me know, do you guys want to see other kinds of videos? Do you want to see something other than Beyblade X? Like I said, I have so many other hobbies. Pokemon trading card game, Nerf. Anyways, I think that's all I have to talk about. It was just a super awesome tournament setting. I can't wait to go back for another one. And that was me, Umbreon with a Snorlax head, talking about my first place win at Myth Adventures Beyblade Night. Hope to go to another one. That's pretty much it. Bye.